Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about transit south node, square, opposition, or inconjunct one's natal sun. Now, when you're talking about transits that involve the south node, it can be about what we're going away from, the past, what you're leaving behind, what you're naturally proficient in, perhaps, and I would say overdeveloped and redundant qualities. Now, the thing about when the transit south node is basically making an adverse aspect to one's natal sun, well, this may manifest. Well, first, I'm going to be kind and rewind. Now, when I say basically adverse aspect, what I'm talking about is, okay, the squares and oppositions in astrology, those aspects, of course, are negative and adverse. Now, the inconjunct aspect, though, is neutral, but neutral aspects can have good and bad qualities, coupled with the fact that an inconjunct can often require an adjustment or transition. So collectively, basically, I do see this as an adverse transit. Now, anyway, again, when transit south node is basically making an adverse aspect to one's natal sun, well, it may manifest in what you're going away from the past, what you want to leave behind, what you might feel you're naturally adept in or proficient at this time, and also could be overdeveloped and redundant qualities, and these things could conflict with your life in general. It could be somebody from the past, might be coming back into your life, and it doesn't mean that the person from the past is necessarily negative. It could just mean that the person that might be from your past, whether it's from your early childhood, could be a past lover. It might be something where it's just conflicting with your life at this point. It could be causing some diversion, some distraction at this time. I mean, if you had, say, if this transit south node, say it was in Virgo in the 11th house, it might be somebody that was servicing computers for you, providing some service that was astrological, as some examples. Now, it could be, too, when you look at the south node, and really in respect to those who believe this, and south node can be connected with past lives. It could be somebody that you may believe, is from a past life. Might be conflicting with what you want to do at this time. The sun is connected with the basic one, so what we want to focus on. It could be, too, that given that the sun is also connected with the biological father. So if you're trying to get out or get away from activities with the biological father, it might be very difficult at this time. If there's something that you just don't feel like doing, with this person, or if you're dealing with a very, say if the natal sun is in like Leo, it could be a very domineering, even bombastic or arrogant father. It might be someone that you don't really want to contend with at this time, or deal with. And it might be harder though to get away from that person. And the sun is also associated with dominant males, and it could be a time too where you might be trying, some of these people that were dominant males in your life, if you're trying to leave them in the past, it could be more of an arduous task to do so at the time of this transit. It can be that maybe somehow they're bringing out these overdeveloped, redundant qualities somehow. I mean, say if the transit south node is in Virgo, it could be like hypochondriac, and I don't know if that word applies anymore, but anyway, people, it could be bringing out critical energy, very judgmental energy. As an example, the transit south node was in Virgo as an example, and it's making, again, the basically adverse to the natal sun. Now, also, the sun is where you want to shine, where you want to stand out, the spotlight, and the things that again, it could be somebody connected with your past. Might be something that you feel comfortable in, your comfort zone at this time. Might be conflicting with the area in life that you want to really, where you want to shine in. Let's say, for example, if you have Gemini, Sagittarius energy, you have an opposition with Gemini and Sagittarius, it could be going from, Gemini is, about really street street sense, and being shrewd. Um, Sagittarius is more about being learned from your higher education, and it could be where you have this opposition where it's adversarial at this time, where you want to shine in one of those areas versus where you feel at home or very comfortable in the comfort zone at this time. And it might be harder at this time considering the sun is connected with the focus, the attention, where we're trying to concentrate on, concentration of energy. That might conflict with people from the past. It might be harder to focus on people that are from your past at this time. Again, whether it might be someone from your early education, as an example, a past lover, could be a former significant other, or maybe a teacher that you had in grade school, could be a neighbor, during the very early part of your life. It can be also to another way this transit may manifest. Keep in mind, anatomically speaking, the sun is connected with the heart, the spine, and the upper back. And the thing about this is, if you have any of these issues going on right now that I just described that are anatomically, that correspond with the sun in astrology, those things might be harder to get away from at this time. Or if you've been trying to ignore these things, these are things that it might be more difficult to ignore and try to be oblivious to at this time. It might be a point where you have to do something about it, because again, the South Node is about what we're trying to get away from, and it might be more of an arduous task to get away from these issues at this point in time, more so than usual. Now, the sun is also, can have a connection with the physical body in general. Yes, the ascendant is what dominates the appearance in the physical body, and most people are going to have a different ascendant than their sun sign, but the sun can still play a role in the physical body. And if there are issues with the physical body and could be very well be connected with the zodiac sign your sun is in, those issues might be harder to get away from. Say if the natal sun is in Aquarius, it could be issues with the shins, the calves, nerves, circulation. If it's in the zodiac sign Cancer, maybe there's something with the ribs, the chest, the breast, the stomach, water retention as some examples. And the sun is also connected, with the vitality. It has a connection with our vitality and energy. So it could be that something, someone from the past perhaps might be having an adverse effect on your energy and vitality level. Maybe you're dominated by this person, and it's consuming a lot of your time. Maybe there's something you might be overexerting at this time or expending too much energy on this. And the sun is also connected with action. And the thing about this is, this could be, something where if you're distracted by whatever your comfort zone is at this time, it might present more difficulty in taking action in some other aspect of your life at this point in time, more so than usual. Or maybe it's difficult to take action on something as far as from the past, or something you might be trying to get away from at this time, as far as the South Node energy. And also the sun is associated with children. And the thing about this is, you might be with a conflict at this time if you have any children, where people from the past, activities with them might be conflicting with your time with a child or children at this time. It might be, whatever your comfort zone might be at this time might be challenging. Children may not be in agreement with this at this point in time. If you're expressing any of the the overdeveloped, redundant qualities connected with the sign the South Node is in, children may not be in agreement with it at this point in time. Now, also, to another way this transit may manifest, someone from the past, again, could adversely affect your drive and motivation, which is connected with the sun. Now, let's say, for example, if the transit South Node is in Virgo in the 8th house, it could be somebody that was complaining, which is Virgo, perhaps compulsively, which is connected with the 8th house. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now let's say, could also be another way this transit may be expressed. It could be harder to get away, which is a south node, perhaps from, the life. That might be, as far as something negative connected with it. Now, let's say if the natal sun is in Taurus, it could be a life that maybe you're perceiving as monotonous or even boring, and one which you haven't shown much deviation from day to day. Something also, another way this transit may manifest, it could be something that might be affecting you to your detriment, which is a south node, might cause difficulty in you taking action, which is connected with the sun. Now let's say, for example, if the transit south node is in Scorpio in the 12th house, it could be maybe there is a sexual addiction. Scorpio can be connected with sex, and 12th house is associated with addictions. Also, to what you may feel comfortable doing, which is the south node, may conflict with what you want, in an area you want to shine in. Now, let's say if the transit south node is in Pisces in the 11th house, as an example, it could simply be loafing, relaxing, meditating, which is Pisces. Could be with friends and acquaintances and or people you know in groups, clubs, or organizations, which is the 11th house. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.